People of the world, hello and welcome to episode 142 trillion of Marketing as a Foreign Language. My name is Kellen Kautzman, but you probably know that. Did you know that not too long ago, in my business networking international chapter, of which I was the president, thank you very much, a gentleman swung on by as if we were destined to meet, and his energy absolutely positive, incredible man, wine ambassador. So we're going to learn a lot about wine today, and we were just chatting, and on his Zoom background, which you're going to have the pleasure of seeing in just moments, is the cutest Zoom background that I have ever seen. He was sharing with me that he just set it up, so this is the inaugural sharing of said super cute background. Allow me to introduce you to the incredible Louis Sheppard. Put your hands together.
Now put my hands together too. I love the intro. Thanks for the intro. I appreciate it. And yes, the background is my son. At that time, he was about 6 months. And my daughter, and he's 13 now, and wow. My daughter, which is daddy's girl, she was about 2, and she's 8 now. Okay. But those 2 pictures are the most meaningful pictures that I always love. You know, we take a bunch of pictures of your kids, but I think these 2 pictures did so much for me because both of them was at an age where they didn't talk back. they just looked at you. They just looked at you and nodded and kind of did what you asked them to do, or just maneuver them. And that's why I love that moment. So watching them grow up, you know, one being 13 and one being 8, and just now it's like, oh, all these gray hairs are coming, and you start to feel your age when you're seeing that. But those 2, that age for both of them was just like perfect.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cute. I obviously have pictures of my kiddos. 7 and 5 are their current ages that make me feel similarly to the way that you're describing. You know, I'm reminded yesterday I saw one of the most beautiful pieces of artwork I think I've ever seen. It is a priceless African artifact that comes from Nigeria, and it is of a king. And in that particular culture, very few people are allowed to see the king because his status is so high. It's basically they consider him a deity, and this piece is commissioned to be his face, and the person whose house it's hanging in's mother, when they immigrated from Nigeria, had like an African art store. And so she gave this piece to her daughter, and this piece of wood it's just magic. It is literally magic. And It's interesting to me because I was talking to the person who owns this house. Her name's Lillian. She owns a company called Duchess Rideshare, which is like an Uber for women drivers, women passengers, which is incredible. It's a startup. She's going to make a ton of money. But anyway, this piece of art, I was just totally vibing with it. And we were having a conversation about how physical objects can have this, for lack of a better word, kind of magical power. And that's the vibe I'm getting from those 2 pictures, right? That sort of just magic, tons of energy just contained into that. So it's just cool, and I love your background, that's all I'm saying.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And, you know, wine, of course, that we get drink on, and I'm a NASCAR fan. Hey.
We're gonna have to get together and drink some wine one of these days. So Lewis's, was it your mother lives near?
Yeah, my mother's out in Henderson. Yeah, she's out in Henderson. It's been 20 plus years she's been out there. And now I remember going to Henderson or going to Vegas and driving down Easton when there was nothing there.
Right.
So from her house, getting to the expressway took me about 5 to 8 minutes.
Yep.
And then make that quick right to get on the expressway and shoot to the strip.
Yeah.
That took about a good 10 to 12 minutes. Now, that's an all-day trip. She doesn't even tell me to come down Easton. She tells me to come around the back end with the new M Hotel.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're neighbors.
She tells me to go that way.
She tells me to go that way. I am literally looking at the M Hotel right now from my window.
So yeah,
it's right there.
Yeah, we're neighbors.
Yeah,
yes,
I love it.
We are definitely neighbors.
No coincidence. So yeah, we got to get wine. But for the folks, for the fans of the show, y'all know that the idea is that we're gonna get the whole story. We're gonna get the Louis Sheppard story. I believe that the parallels, the interconnectivity between one's life experience and their success in business is absolutely attached. There is no separation. Their life story is their business, as far as I'm concerned. And in 2021, I think really the only game in town that at least I'm interested in through live streaming and video is really getting to know the person themselves. Getting to know the person is getting to know the business. And so we're going to start from the very beginning. And we're going to have Louis back on the show, hopefully, to wrap up the story as the episodes progress. But why don't we start from the moment you were born? Louis, where was that?
You know what's so funny? I feel like the guy from Goonies right now. When they're putting I just watched it. My kids just watched it.
Okay, yeah, like that reference is just...
And he said start from the beginning, and that's what he did. He started from the beginning, and he started telling them the when I was born.
That's right. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Well, basically, born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens.
Wow.
Then, I'm always representing Queens, even though I was born in Brooklyn. Lawton 229. Big shout out to everybody out there. Okay. And the real story of me, growing up, elementary school. Junior high school, but the real story for me, I really think started when I was going to the 11th to 12th grade. That's when a lot of things clicked for me.
Okay.
At the time, my grandfather passed away.
Sorry.
Now, when that happened, we're going back into the 80s, and when he passed away, I used to hang out on the corners with friends. We used to just hang out and chill, and it was in the summertime. Yeah. My mother sent me to a program called Upward Bound. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it was a Upward Bound math and science program.
Okay.
And it was for the youth, just to improve your studies in those two studies areas. And I got shipped to Buffalo, New York, and it was a 6-week program. Buffalo, New York. Go up there. So Buffalo, New York is about an 8-9 hour drive from New York City. So I didn't want to go. I can tell you that right now. I did not want it to go, but it's my mother and she forced me.
Right.
What happened in that process, in 2 weeks, I came home because, like I said, my grandfather passed away.
Right.
The first thing that I did is went to see the guys that used to hang out on the corners with. Hey, what's going on? What y'all doing? And in those 2 weeks, what really hit me, it said, what you guys been doing? Nothing, just been here.
Right.
I did more things in 2 weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
Than they did in just that moment.
Yep.
And I think a lot of things clicked right there for me because I had a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to be here or do I want to have an adventure?
Amen.
And I chose the adventure. So, I wasn't the greatest in school, but from there, that kind of propelled me to start thinking a little bit bigger picture because I didn't want to be that guy on the corner and say, hey, what we do? Nothing. I didn't want to be that guy. Yep. So things started clicking from there. I went back to actually Buffalo to go to college.
So let me boom, hit the time on that. Let's pause there. Okay. So there's a Henry Rollins quote that I love. That I'm going to paraphrase. He's like, there's no free time. There's no weekend time. There's just lifetime. Yeah. There's just lifetime. Okay. Everything else is a social construct. And I play 6 instruments. I speak 3 languages. I wrote a book, blah, blah, blah. Like all these things that on a resume look really good. But it's precisely what you just said, which is I'm sitting there. I can go learn guitar. I can go play a didgeridoo. I can go play drums. I can go learn Chinese. I can do these things in this moment. And sometimes I struggle to understand that other mentality. And I think for a lot of folks, especially type A, super like must get it all done all the time, type people, they look to like Buddhism and they look to Zen and they look to I literally have a bonsai tree and tea, and because that's the yin yang of that. So it's not to say that always running in that direction is the only way and it's the best path and blah 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 blah. but I resonate with that, if that makes any sense.
Yep. I agree.
So,
I agree.
I'm not judging those guys on the corner. You do you.
No.
I don't know your life. I don't, you know what I mean? But I am like you in that sense of I want to level up.
What it really comes down to is finding you in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not judging what they were doing,
right.
but I just found my eyes was opened up to something else.
Right.
It was like, oh, okay, this was kind of cool too. Even though it was a lot of learning, but it was still being on a college campus.
And you
was hanging, socializing with other individuals that was from all over the place, from all over the city.
Yep.
I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of cool.
Yep.
So
I mean, and your mom, how cool was your mom to force you to do it? It's one of those parent things that, right? I mean, you could easily have gone, my mom and blah, and done that whole song and dance, but like, thank God she did that.
Yeah. And even though it was a situation of my grandfather passed away, to me, that was the blessing and the curse all wrapped up in one.
It's always
I
that.
would have never seen it.
Yep.
I would have, if he was still alive, 6 weeks I would have been mad at that event, at that program.
Yep.
For 6 weeks I would have been mad because the first 2 weeks I didn't want to be there. I was just like, I don't want to be here.
Yep.
I really didn't make any friends at the first 2 weeks. It wasn't until I came back when I started opening myself up to meeting other people and things happened there. I was the funny guy and I would start making jokes, and that's how people started to know me from in that program.
Right.
And it was a great program, but if my grandfather didn't pass away, I would have soaked to the whole time and just, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, this is the way. It's in Mandarin, it's the Dao, it's the Camino, it's the path, it's just the unfolding of things. And excuse me, I'm going to totally nerd out on you right now. There's a scene that you may remember from Star Wars, the original, where Obi-Wan is fighting against Darth Vader, and Luke Skywalker is trying to run away and get into the Millennium Falcon, and Obi-Wan's basically like, I'm going to die now. Right? Yeah. Like, I'm going to let this dude kill me. I know it's impossible for you to understand it. I know it's going to be incredibly traumatic for you, but just watch what happens.
You'll see it later. You'll see it in the next part 2 and part 3.
Right. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. And my dad died when I was 2. My mom died when I was 26. And, people's general reaction, I'm so sorry. That's an appropriate reaction. I get it. But I have processed it. Like, I understand the nuance of their spirit and how it has changed the entire tapestry of not only my life, but my kids' lives and the whole thing. And again, I don't believe in coincidences, and being open to trying to understand that flow of energy of someone passing and how it literally has a physiological, measurable, scientific response in the human body. Is a transfer of that spirit as far as I'm concerned. And before people go, hey, isn't this a show about marketing?
but there's a point to this. There's always a point to this.
Before they're like, wait a second, aren't we supposed to be talking about Instagram? Let me just say that is the best social media ever. If you are at that level of self-awareness, if you are that centered, if you are that emotionally whole, then your social media is going to be ridiculous because people are going to just munch on the authenticity. It's like the juiciest authenticity ever because you are expressing yourself at the highest levels.
And I don't mind it because I learned a long time when you share your stories about you personally, it really could help someone else, and my mother is complete opposite of who I am. She, and it's the whole generation, I would say. The generation of prior to myself, you didn't talk about politics, sex, and money at the dinner table.
Right.
That was a no-no. You didn't talk about those things. And anything that happens, you just keep it in the family. Don't tell nobody. You keep everything a secret.
Right.
But as you go along and you start to realize, wait a minute, if I keep these things bottled up, how can somebody else be helped and be blessed along the way?
Yep.
If they're going through something.
Yep.
So I'm more of a, I'm completely opposite. I'm the same and I'm opposite of her because I will let you know about certain things if I think it could really, benefit you
Mm-hmm.
going forward.
Yep.
If it can help you, hey, if my sorrows can help you, great. If my victory can help you, great.
Yep.
That's what I tend to do.
Yeah, and I love it. One of my things that I will, so if I meet someone like our current babysitter, for example, 19, valedictorian, brilliant, she's going to have an incredible future. She doesn't know what reverse amortization on a loan is. She doesn't understand that when you buy a house, you're only paying interest basically for the first 3 to 5 years. And I'm having these conversations like, look, if you leave your house every 3 to 5 years, you're still basically renting. And if the market goes down, it's worse than renting. If it goes up, great, you have some equity. But talking about really important financial things or I'll talk to folks about, we bought an investment property for $69,000, we sold it for $180,000. Okay, that happened. I'm not saying, oh, we're the greatest people ever. Look at us. Look how fantastic we are. I'm saying if the market tanks, you have one example of someone in your life that you can call, you can text me, you can ask me whatever questions you want. You can ask me if I think it's the right time to buy or not. Hello, like I'm right here, right? So if you ever need any advice from someone who managed to do that by the grace of God, then cool.
But that's the problem, though.
Yeah.
What the problem is people coming to you asking for help.
Why is that a problem?
That's the issue because some people can't humble themselves and ask for help.
Oh, there's a lot of truth to that. Yeah,
that could be the problem. Now, if you're gonna ask for help, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't believe there's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Right.
But sometimes a lot of people have that. I can't do it. I got to do it on my own. So they won't ask for help. That could be, it's just a pride thing. Sometimes it's just pride gets in the way.
To the original point, if you are online and you are authentically sharing that, you are helping. If you're just talking about it and they're watching it, so now they don't have to ask you. They can like watch the YouTube video, get the information, and then be like, okay, cool. Yeah. So okay. So I'm gonna quick make a parallel. We'll go back to your life story with 13 minutes remaining. We've not mentioned a thing about wine. But what I think people hopefully are taking from this so far is just this depth of your personality, right? Of your character, of your grandfather passing away, of you having enough self-awareness to realize the positivity in that, of you doing this journey to this schooling that you did where you really opened up your mind. And that's obviously transcending, or it's going into this, what folks can only imagine is a really wide breadth of understanding of your current craft, right? That's the natural evolution of where this is going. So I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to understand that you are going to have an incredibly large understanding and depth to your wine wisdom, if you will.
And a lot of that comes from, I've been a part of it for about a year, for this company, just for a year.
Yeah.
But a lot of things where I don't say I sell wine because it's too limited.
Right.
I think that's too limited. What I do, I want to give you an experience through wine.
Right.
Like the conversation we're having right now, I can see this happening in your backyard with a glass, with a bottle, and just talking.
100%.
That's the experience of wine.
That's right.
It's not really the taste is going to be one thing. The smell is going to be one thing. What you see is going to be one thing. But the experience of having it with your friends, having a great conversation, that's where I come in.
Right.
Using it as a marketing tool, that's where I come in. Because I just don't want to sell you wine.
Right.
Selling you wine is just too. You could do that at the store. You could go over there at the store.
Right.
What I want to do is, hey, what kind of experience you want to have?
Right.
Because are we going to celebrate? Yes, I'm celebrating a new baby. Wow, let's get a sparkling wine.
Right.
I had a hard day of work, and I got home, and my kids is running all around the place, but now they finally in bed, and I just want to just pop a book open or pop in Netflix.
Right.
Okay, let me help you get you a nice red Cabernet.
Right.
Because what it's going to do is going to relax you.
Right.
You're gonna relax. All right, I'm outside. You're at lunchtime. Now think about it. In France, they do it all the time. They drink wine like it's going out of style,
Right.
because that's their culture.
Right.
And you're drinking it, or Italy, they drink it throughout the day, throughout the
Right.
workday. Now imagine you taking a lunch break and getting a salad, and then I can say, hey, here's a great bottle of a white wine that you can have um, at your lunch, or a glass of white wine. You don't want it red because you don't want it hard. You got to get back to work. But a
That's
white
right.
wine at lunchtime with some with a fit or with fish. Oh, I'm drinking this. That's
Right.
the experience of having life. I don't care if you don't. I don't drink wine. All right, fine. But let me share with you the experience of what you could do with wine.
Right.
That's what it comes
Yeah, I
down
mean,
to.
everyone gets it. I mean, seriously, based on what you just said, you painted quite the picture on that one. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, that's it. So going back, did you know that Grandmaster Flash originally, when he created literally dumpster dived to get the parts because he was like an electrician
Yep.
back in the day to
Yep.
to
Hmm.
get the two turntables. He took a purple crayon and like made a line to know
Hmm.
exactly where the get down was, right? Where the drum beat was in order to
Yep.
go back all the time.
Hmm.
Um,
I used to be a DJ, so
oh
yes,
yeah, you get
I
it. Yeah.
did.
So there you go.
I
So
know.
so that to me
I,
that's what we're
I've been
doing.
there.
Yeah, so we're going back. All right. So
Yeah.
high school, okay? So back to the start of the drum break.
The high school. I went to August Martin High School. Big shout out to August Martin. That's a great school. Met a lot of friends in there. Did a lot of had a lot of experience in there. It's not that I could remember every single thing, but there are moments. I think the biggest moment from freshman year to senior year is when I got that acceptance letter of saying I was going to college.
Yeah,
I think that
huge.
was probably outside of the summertime thing, what I told you about my grandfather, but that is another moment. Wow, I'm going to college. I couldn't believe it. I wasn't the greatest student, but to apply for stuff, and then somebody said, "Why don't you come over here?" Okay, I'm gonna take you up on
Hey,
it.
Lewis. Pardon the interruption. So Esther
Yep,
Sass is a longtime viewer of the program, and she comments a lot. She chats a lot.
yep.
She wants me to ask you. Please ask Lewis if he always knew that he would be successful. Can you segue that in for Esther?
Did I know I was gonna be successful? No, no, I can't even. I knew I was gonna do something. And think about it. When you're a kid, you don't expect you're gonna be the greatest of anything. You just expect to live life and enjoy life, and that's what I was doing. I was living life and enjoy life. Now, having certain moments in life, like starting with my grandfather, yeah, that made me successful because I finished that program.
Mm.
So I was going in. So when I got to college, I knew I was going to graduate because being the youngest of three, and my two older sisters had their college
Oh,
degrees.
okay. You had to. No choice.
you know,
No choice.
I had no choice.
No
I
choice.
was not going to be the black sheep of the family.
Yep.
I knew that. So my success was off of moments in life that I already knew that was going to happen. Like I said, college degree, I was going to do it.
What'd you
There was
major in?
no ifs and communications, uh, Bachelor of Arts,
Yeah.
Bachelor of Science and Arts, and I had my radio broadcasting degree and went through radio. Did
Okay.
all of those stuff.
So DJ, we haven't even got to the DJ thing. I want to dive into that.
Oh yeah,
Radio,
that's the
what
story too.
I want to dive into that, but I also don't want to get too ahead of ourselves with 6 minutes remaining. So shout out to Esther for the question. To those listening, obviously we're live 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on YouTube. Just type in "marketing as a foreign language" or "Send It Rising Internet Marketing." Both will get you there. If you're listening to us on the podcast after the fact, we love you. We're proud of you. If you're listening to us on YouTube after the fact, we still love you. We still proud of you. But if you want to ask a guest a question, please do join us for the live show 10:30 a.m. Hop in the chat and ask your question. So, okay, let's see.
and
Yeah,
and to
help
go
me out.
back to that question, to go back, what is success too?
Right.
That's
Mm.
you got to really define what is
Oh, yeah,
success.
you do.
Because I that's why I said it's not. Is it monetarily? Is it family? What is
It's
success?
all of it. It's
So
all of it.
one of the things for me, I'm gonna tell you what one of the things for me that I'm really proud about, or being in New York, growing up, especially back in the days, the statistic back then was a black man was going to be dead or in jail by the age of 25.
Right.
And I knew that statistic when I was young.
Right.
I'm in my 40s right now.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, was success because I passed that statistic
right.
to being dead or in jail.
Right.
That's success to me.
Right.
Now, so there's a lot of things that you could consider success, but you would just have to define it on your own.
Oh my goodness.
What is success to you? Because success to me and what it is to you might be two different things.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You know, I don't want to get ahead of myself because we only got a couple minutes, but there's stuff in my journey that it was a struggle. And then once you got out of that struggle, that's success.
Oh yeah. Trust me, dude. One of the biggest mistakes I've made in the last few years was I obsessed about becoming debt free. That was just that was it, and I did it at the expense of other things I should have been focused on. Right. So, man, that balance this is the nature of the mystery that we find ourselves in. It is a balancing act of epic proportions.
Yes, I agree.
It really is. But I'm very happy, and I'm happy where everything landed. And I still feel like I can be happy admitting mistakes, if that makes any sense. You know, I can be happy when I'm crying. We lost our dog of 12 years not too long ago. His name was Apollo. I was so proud of my daughter. I asked her, I was like, do you want to go when we euthanize Apollo? His back legs were just completely non-functional. It was time. And she's like, yeah, I want to go. I want to say a final goodbye. And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. I want to go. I asked her like 6 times. And she did it. She's just a rock star. I'm so proud of her. And we're in the room. We're bawling. We're all bawling. And I've gotten so much better about just crying and not trying to not cry. I just let it out, you know? And oh my God, it's just this magical moment. And I'm just so sad and so happy. So happy just to feel that and just connect with my family and to show my love for this incredible animal. So it's that's all connected. To me, again, no separation between the stories you're telling, my recent experiences, and all that stuff. So real quick, Esther said 2 things. That's my point, which is something you said. So she agreed with you. And the other thing is she says, that's why success is in quotes. Your daughter was so brave. So yeah. So I'm right there with you. So we got 3 minutes. Louis, I want to give you the final word. So I'm going to let you do your thing for the next 3 minutes, 3 minutes, and we'll call it from there. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, Kelly, thank you for having me. I appreciate this, showing up in your BNI chapter, because I'm coming all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina, living out here, and I've been going to different BNI chapters. So big out to BNI for doing all these Zoom meetings that people can attend. I am with the Boisset collection. We have a fantastic 150 bottles of wines that we could ship directly to your front door. We're backed by 25 wineries. Definitely want to check something out. We got a fantastic wine club, a monthly wine club, a quarterly wine club, and a yearly wine club that you will love. And if you're in sales, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you're trying to market your business going into the new year, you want to market your business through wine bottles, as we do a custom wine label program. So just imagine your label on front of our wine bottles, and you're gifting that to a client, your top clients, I usually say. So that is just marketing 101, and you want to be on top of mind. That is it. And the reason why I say that is because of my mother, who bought her truck in Vegas, and the guy sent her a wine bottle, and it was his face, the logo, and his information, and it was fantastic. And I thought, with my mother not being a wine drinker, and she only opened bottles when friends and family is around, it made the perfect gift. And the conversation, especially for marketing in wine, it's, hey, who got you this bottle, or where did you get this bottle from? And your name is being talked about for at least 5 minutes.
That is a great point.
That's what it's all about.
That is I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's the nail in the coffin for me, because I have a client, our biggest client, that I want to say thank you to him, right? And what better way to do that? I mean, I don't know if he drinks wine, but even if he doesn't, right? And you send somebody like he's like, hey, I don't drink wine, but thank you is the worst that's gonna happen.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And they gotta keep it, and they gotta open it for someone.
Right.
And that
when
someone
are they
is
gonna...
your next client.
Okay, right.
Someone is your next client.
Talking about magic objects, yeah.
That's how you got to look at it.
Okay.
So I really appreciate this. This was fun, and we got to continue to do this.
Yeah, we only made it to like high school. Right?
Yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, I'm in my 40s.
We got there's some more. We got some more life to go through. Okay, so more episodes with Mr. Sheppard. If you want to reach out to Louis, why don't you give them a way to do that? Phone, email. Where should they go?
ljshepwinestyle@outlook.com.
Okay, you're gonna email that to me. I'm gonna put that in the description. Okay, to make it easier for folks.
I'll put all my information in there.
Say that one more time slowly.
ljswinestyle@outlook.com.
Okay.
Just email me. That's the best way, and I'll send you all my information, and you can put that all in.
Put it in the comments in YouTube. Yeah. So if you're listening to us on the podcast, I will get it on the podcast, but I need to get that from you right away, Louis, after the show, for the podcast. And then again, if you're say Facebook or LinkedIn, just swing over to YouTube. It should be right there. Ladies and gentlemen.
But everything else is real easy. LJ Sheppard official.
Okay. All right. Well, Louis, this was super fun. I look forward to the next time, so let's stay in touch. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for swinging by Marketing as a Foreign Language. That is the show for today.
Peace.